This trip has encompassed progress in a variety of ways, whether as efficiency, preserving and planning for the future, or growth. When a person dabbles with the idea of progress, they mostly come upon thoughts of technology, advances, economic growth, and modernization of human society. Maybe for others, progress is about environmental preservation, protection of our planet, or battling pollution and other dangers that follow expansion. All of these ideas are aspects of progress, but in terms of Discover Abroad 2015 spring semester in Hawaii, New Zealand, Australia, and Fiji, I have come to understand the most important sort of progress is you. People of this era strive for fame, fortune, and success in economic standards. Then there are those who believe that progress is the prevention of this way of living. There are people who progress in monetary value, and there are people who progress in environmental conservation, people who progress in a sport or trade, and people who progress in knowledge. Everybody has a passion, a value, an internal drive towards achieving, seeing, or doing the one thing or things that pull their heartstrings, that plays the song within their soul. And beyond this, there is my definition of progress. People are born with a purpose, which is the source from which passions and talents flow. Real progress, and the way with which every side of the spectrum can be satisfied, comes from within. It is made by us, for us, and to us, whether by our own selves or through other people. There are so many cultures throughout the world that define economic progress and environmental progress as the forefront of humanity, the constant battle between nature and expansion. And to me, the real sense of progress is in morality, compassion, guilt, ingrained senses of right and wrong. Progress doesn't come from money, GDP, or the triple bottom line. Progress isn't 100% pure, clean, and green, and it isn't simply going from point A to point B. Progress is learning to travel with 31 strangers for 3 months, to live with people whose beliefs and practices may differ so immensely from your own, even though they reside within our own nationality and culture, to compromise, to question oneself, and to learn to coexist. When somebody clashes with you, when your worldviews overlap, when your personality or sense of self is ridiculed, revered, or compromised, you progress. You learn who you are, who you have been, and who you want to be. You see yourself through another's eyes. Maybe this is negative, maybe it's positive, but you learn what about yourself you want to change. Alternatively, you are further rooted in the personality traits, thought processes, or beliefs that you've come to realize are the aspects that define you, the aspects that you will never alter. You progress, you change, you grow. To me, this is what this trip is designed to teach us. Not only do we experience the environmental tranquility of the New Zealand fjordlands, the hustle and bustle of large cities of Wellington and Sydney, the sustainability efforts across the southern hemisphere, and the comparison to what we have grown so accustomed to at our homes, but we also discover ourselves. Whether it's a stranger from another country placing you under a stereotype, or your own best friends compromising your sense of self, you learn the differences between who you are and who you portray. You are challenged, dared, and defied. It is this process, underlying the environmental cover of the trip, that brings out the true meaning of progress in its most important sense. The more we see of the world, the larger our boundaries grow, the smaller we become, and the more important our personal content with our character becomes. It isn't so much about discovering abroad, but discovering ourselves, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. Progress isn't the money we obtain, worldly successes, or the fear of oblivion. This trip's theme is entirely within ourselves, not just through our own eyes, but through the eyes of others. For the first time in our young lives, being able to say, this is who I want to be. I'm proud of who I am, I stand up for my beliefs, and I have progressed.